time, Speak Easy from Eddie Hernandez.
Yeah, hear the battle cry under the devil's sky. The one-winged angel screams. It fuels my hopes and dreams. The best
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to World Cup Wednesday. 2 bouts on the docket as we get Group B started up tonight. We'll finish out Group A as well. Team USA currently in the lead in Group A with 6 points after defeating Team UK. We begin today with breaking news as you see the captain of Team Canada coming up. We saw Team USA versus Team UK. It was captain versus captain, Danielson versus McIntyre. And we know it'll be captain versus captain later tonight when American Samoa takes on Mexico. Jay White, though, did not schedule himself at all for Team Australia in this match. So instead, it'll be Robbie Eagles taking on Omega. Opportunity this is for Robbie Eagles as he gets to open up here in the bowl against Kenny Omega, captain of Team Canada. But that leaves some pretty serious questions as far as Jay White is concerned. So Team Canada got the opportunity to pick their matchups tonight, and not seeing Jay White on the docket at all for Team Australia. They opted to put Kenny Omega in the ring here against Eagles. But that right now might be the biggest story so far of this World Cup, because we don't know what Jay White's doing. We don't know what he's thinking. I suppose that'll be revealed in time. Here we go. 2 bouts on the docket tonight. Canada versus Australia, and then later on, American Samoa will take on Team Mexico. So much more as well. We'll get to go back for the first time to our World Wrestling Studio, part of the World Wrestling Center here in Orlando. We'll get to hear from Wade Barrett and Tazz, our World Cup experts, as they'll break down all the action for the Snapdragon from Omega. Just a quick refresher, 3 points on the line for every singles win, an extra point for a win by a submission, and an extra point for a win in under 2 minutes. And I believe that's what both of these men will be going for. Robbie Eagles does have the Romero special in his arsenal. We've seen him win with before. Kenny Omega, not known as a submission wrestler, but we know that there is nothing that Kenny Omega can't do. So we'll see if that comes into play at any point here. Knee from Eagles as we're a minute gone in this match. First cover, Eagles trying to get that extra point, won't get it. Of course, all eyes will be on prime time in this bout. Edge and Christian reuniting as a tag team against the mighty Don't Kneel representing Australia. We'll hear from Wade Barrett coming up after this match on the impact that Edge and Christian have had as a tag team across their incredible careers. Eagles with a striking combination into the snap suplex. 30 seconds left to try to get that extra point. Omega rolls up, steps up into the Frankensteiner. Canada is loaded and will have some underground representation as well, as Braddock will be representing Eagles. Oh man, Eagles was trying to flatten Omega as he tried to come out springboard with that left hand. Omega very smartly out of the way. Knife edge chop combination countered by Eagles. We've hit the 2-minute mark, so no extra point given in this match. That doesn't stop Kenny Omega from hitting the fisherman suplex. Still an extra point to be gained from a submission victory if we have one. Eagles to his feet. Omega gonna fly with the high cross. Omega got him in his sights. Eagles, known as the sniper of the skies, and Omega grounds him with that knee. Here comes another one from Kenny Omega. Boom! V-trigger off the ripcord. We saw Lancelot do that very same thing with a knee combination. Omega's gonna fly! Tope con hero! Springboards off the top into the high cross. And for the second time in a row, we have ourselves an opening contest. Team USA and Team UK opened with a tag match. The Young Bucks took on Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay. It was incredible. Eagles caught Omega with a drop kick. Eagles has to get back in the ring, and he does, and it's a good thing too. Omega was about to absolutely blast him with that kick. Now Eagles with the right hand. Eagles going back out to the outside. Eagles DDT to Omega. Stands him up on the apron, and Eagles, the sniper of the skies, Omega, Poison Rana. What an answer from Kenny Omega, and right in his face, Robbie Eagles just tosses him back in the ring. Wow. Eagles now, he didn't see Omega get out behind him. There seems to be some bad blood in this matchup. Omega back into the ring, following Eagles. Eagles jumps on top of him, Irish whip. Omega off the ropes, and he's caught with a high drop kick by Robbie Eagles. Omega to the outside, he's getting right back in. Omega straight right, backs Eagles up, and Omega will follow him, but he's caught by an Eagles right hand, and there's another one. The Australian ducks underneath with a Pele kick. Omega to his feet again, and Robbie Eagles caught him on the right into the flatliner. Eagles might be looking to slow things down here a little bit as he's allowing Kenny Omega to get back to his feet. Omega does. Eagles going after the arm. Omega pulls him back into the left hand. Now Omega turns him around, and Omega, could he be looking? Oh my God. Omega might have been thinking to go for the one-winged angel. Robbie Eagles fast enough to get out of it. I think both men need a second to rest here, but Robbie Eagles not going to give Omega much time. Omega's in the corner, and it sets Eagles up. Eagles with the post drop. Robbie Eagles out of the corner. Post drop, and Eagles has just upset Kenny Omega. Robbie Eagles carrying Australia on his back. One of the most unbelievable wins. One of the most improbable wins I have ever seen. Robbie Eagles. The post drop on Kenny Omega. I can't believe it. Welcome to World Cup Wednesday. It's no overstatement to say that if Edge and Christian hadn't been a team in the mid and late 90s into the 2000s, tag team wrestling would not look like it does today. And I understand that that is so much a part of what we believe as wrestling fans that it's now just colloquially known. You go back and you look at what those two men did, and you realize it's not just the flashiness of tag team wrestling that changed with them. It's the substance of it too. You see the way that they communicate and the way that they're able to put a match together between the two of them, that it feels like even when they're attacking individually, it's a team effort, and so much of that comes from them. Tag team wrestling in the 70s and 80s, once it had made its way to the United States and to Europe, had looked like two individuals that were attacking, and then every so often they would come together and they would do a double team maneuver, but not with Edge and Christian. With them, it was truly a team effort. Individual and double team, everything was connected, everything was fluid. It was a different way of looking at tag team wrestling, and that completely took the world by storm. And even long after they had stopped teaming together, tag teams still emulated them, both the flash and the substance. To be able to see them team together again, this is what the Wrestling World Cup is all about. that's what the Wrestling World Cup is all about. Bronson, Wade Barrett said it absolutely correctly. Edge and Christian teaming together. Robbie Eagles defeating Kenny Omega. This is wrestling. And now we come here to another nicknamed arena. I can tell you the real name, but I much prefer the nickname. The nickname is the Eagles Nest. And it got the nickname because this was actually a joint project with the students of Florida Gulf Coast University. And so the FGCU Eagles, and this is what they have decided to name it. And I like it a lot. I like it a lot, to be honest with you. Australia now in an incredible position. I'm sure that it seemed to them, I mean, you believe in your team, obviously, but when you have to go up against Kenny Omega, doubt starts to creep in. Not anymore. Jay White, the captain, not even present at the facility, and instead, Robbie Eagles steps up and defeats Kenny Omega. So now, Bronson Reed, maybe the biggest, strongest man in this competition. Bronson Reed gets a shot at Braddock to basically, for all intents and purposes, clinch this match. Clinch this bout for Team Canada. It would take a miracle, or for Team Australia rather, it would take a miracle for Team Canada to win if Bronson Reed picks up the victory. And Reed knows it. Look how he's treating Braddock. Bronson Reed, maybe the biggest threat in this entire tournament to get that extra point by winning in under 2 minutes. Once again, Robbie Eagles, the story of the night. Eagles with a massive upset, defeating Team Canada's team captain, Kenny Omega, and now Bronson Reed going after Braddock. Interesting story about Braddock. He is an underground man. He was born in the United States, so he is representing Canada by way of USA. But the reason that he's able to represent Canada, he actually holds dual citizenship. His father is Canadian, and Braddock trained when he first began pro wrestling. He trained in Canada for a couple years, so he does feel connected to the Great White North. And he's trying to claw one back here for Team Canada. 3 points went to Australia with the big Robbie Eagles win. Braddock apparently not in a rush to try to get 4. Not that he should be. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that sub-2 win against Bronson Reed. But Braddock, the only underground man representing Canada, and kind of a surprising addition given how good, how deep Canada is as a roster, how many great wrestlers come from there, but also the traditional roots. But that's not the way that they decided to go here. So Kevin Steen being left on the bench for Canada, and that also drew some speculation about what might be going on, because he would be the obvious choice to come up against Bronson Reed just size-wise. But Kenny Omega wanted to trust Braddock in this situation. Can Braddock nearly had Reed. We've hit the 2-minute mark, but Braddock nearly had him. Braddock going for his big drop kick, and Bronson Reed caught him out of the air. Reed avoiding the sub-2-minute loss, and Reed using his strength. Bronson Reed with the Death Valley driver. And now the big man going up top. Bronson Reed with the splash. Oh my God, I thought I heard ribs crack on that one, but Braddock kicked out. I don't know how, but Braddock staying in this thing for Team Canada. Maybe not for long. Reed with a headbutt, bashes him. And the fans here at the Eagles Nest lighting up. As I say, students from Florida Gulf Coast helped in the design of this facility. They nicknamed it the Eagle's Nest during construction, and the name stuck. So we have the Dusty Roads, the Eagle's Nest, and the Bull. Braddock able to avoid the leg pick. Now Reed to the outside. Braddock spears him off the apron, and Braddock gonna follow him out as Reed rolls to his feet. Braddock gonna come in with the kick. Expertly done from an elite underground athlete. Kenny Omega needs some support. This is the key in the Wrestling World Cup. You're a team. Teammates got to be able to pick each other up, and Kenny Omega suffers the upset loss, but Braddock can pick him up right here, rips him back into the right hand. And Braddock going for the legs. Reed avoids it, and look at the power of Bronson Reed. Just forces him up, tries to drop the elbow in the back, but Braddock rolls out of the way. Braddock, Braddock with the kick, and he ran up to kick Reed right in the knee. Braddock trying to go, oh my God, lifts him up. Braddock with a spinning power slam on the massive Bronson Reed, but only got a 2. Braddock cannot believe it. The spinning power slam on over 300 pounds of Bronson Reed. And now Braddock gonna go back to Old Faithful, the striking. Boom with the Meteora. This is how much it means for Braddock to try to get these points back for Team Canada. And he loaded up a huge right. Awkward fall from Bronson Reed, he might be out. Reed staggering to his feet, doesn't know what country he's in. Braddock again nails him with that jumping kick off the top. And now Braddock has the hand trapped, and Braddock into the crossface, the $1 million dream, whatever you want to call it. Braddock trying to get the extra point for the submission. Bronson Reed, can he peel it away? Yes, he can, just barely. Bronson Reed survives the submission attempt, and now Reed with the scoop slam. Makes it look so easy when Braddock actually has the height advantage. Now Reed gets him up once again. Death Valley driver number 2. And this time, Bronson Reed turns it into a cover. Reed, no! Back and forth we go, and Braddock rolls out, trying to get himself a second. Bronson Reed will take that too. Reed with the tope suicida, but Braddock had moved out of the way, and just a stomp right on his face, and it's again. Tope suicida from Reed, but Braddock saw it coming all the way, and Braddock with the snapmare driver on the outside. An absolutely vicious attack from Braddock. This is what the underground trains you to do, and I think that's why Kenny Omega wanted Braddock on his side. Omega working with Yamamoto, working in the GAW Academy. He's seen firsthand just what type of talent underground wrestlers are and how much brutality they bring to proceedings, and that's what he wanted to see from Braddock. More strikes incoming. Bronson Reed, hang on a second. Reed lifts him up. Reed slams him down with the military press. Referee's count getting low. Reed slides back into the ring. Braddock has to beat it. No, Reed is going to go back outside. Reed does not want to risk the judges getting involved. Reed's going to send Braddock back in the ring. A smart call from Team Australia's Bronson Reed. You do not want the judges involved in trying to officiate that. Reed going to go for the splash again. Nobody home. Braddock moves out of the way. Braddock, power slam. Braddock for Team Canada to get the points back. He does. Unreal. What a contest. Braddock just got 3 points back for Team Canada, and it took everything he had. Bronson Reed with multiple Death Valley drivers, the splash that didn't land, and then the power slam from Braddock. I can't believe he can lift his arms. That was unbelievable. But Braddock, I said team competition is all about picking your teammates up. Braddock just picked up Kenny Omega and ties this thing for Team Canada. The tag team match, long-awaited reunion of Edge and Christian is coming up next. But first, Robbie Eagles, fresh off maybe the biggest win of his career, is standing by with Byron Saxton. Robbie, you've had a second to collect yourself after that match. Is this the biggest win of your career? I don't like to rank things. All I want to say is I did this for Australia. I did this for my team. I did this for all the people back home watching us. I think it's 4 in the morning right now or whatever it is, but just know that if you're watching in Australia, this is for you. Kenny Omega, as we know, one of the greatest wrestlers to ever live. What was the key to beating him here tonight? Honestly, it was just rolling with the punches. You don't want to game plan too much when you're going in with Omega because he can hurt you in so many different ways. And if you try to game plan, you'll just get too far into your own head and nothing good happens there. All it was for me was just everything he did. I'm thinking, okay, I've seen this on the training ground. I've seen this in a training room somewhere. So what did I do then? And just take it move by move and just try to break him down like that. But ultimately what it came down to at the very end, seeing him in that position and knowing the post drop, it's in the arsenal. I can use it and he's in the position. And let me just jump on him. Let me get on him faster than he can move. And I did. And I don't know. It's just, it's all overwhelming. Well, I can definitely see that. But look, I don't want to take any time away from your incredible moment, but I do have to ask, your captain, Jay White, didn't schedule himself today and not even here at the arena. Can you comment on what might be going on there? Byron, I understand that you're trying to do your job, and all I'm going to say is, Team Australia, we are here to win this competition. And however it is that we have to do that, I think we understand, all of us, that we have to pull through. No matter what we face, no matter what obstacles might come down the line, this is the group that we have, and we believe that we have the ability to win this competition. No one believes in us. Everyone's counting us out. But we just have to come together as a locker room and understand that we can change the world. We can shock the world. I think we saw it in that first match. Bronson did an incredible job. That's as tough a wrestling match as I've ever seen, and I have full confidence in Shane and Nick coming up later. Robbie Eagles, I'm going to say that's the biggest win of your career, defeating Kenny Omega in the first match. 3 points for Team Australia. Robbie, congratulations. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you, Byron. The bull here, 50,000 strong, losing their minds. Favorite's going to be this time. The mighty Don't Kneel, Shane Thorne and Nick Miller representing Team Australia. And yeah, they're not gonna be fan favorites here. That much is for sure. Shane Thorne waving an imaginary towel. I mean, they know who they are. They know that they're not getting any cheers coming out here, and I don't think they care. Unbelievable. Folks, I keep saying it. This is what the Wrestling World Cup is all about. Edge and Christian reuniting as a team. Their last official match came in 2011 on an episode of WWE Raw. They won it, by the way. We're talking 12 years since Edge and Christian teamed together. Unbelievable. And Edge coming out of the corner with a diving bulldog on Shane Thorne. The fans loving it already. Thorne trying to jump in. He's caught with a drop kick by Edge, but Thorne has done some work on the old midsection there, I see. Thorne backs into his corner. Edge running in hot, and he's backed up by a straight right from Thorne. Obviously, the fans not in love, but Team Australia here in Thorne looking for the sleeper on Edge. Edge with a jawbreaker to break out of it. Christian Cage waiting on the apron as well. Between Edge and Christian, you're talking about two guys who both thought that their wrestling careers were over. And now you see where they are, and Edge will get the tag in. Here comes Christian Cage. Shane Thorne is there waiting for him. It doesn't matter. Cage, Irish whip off the ropes. Drops down. Cage goes behind for the Snapdragon suplex, and Nick Miller's there to break things up. Great job by Edge, by the way, to cover the fact that Thorne's legs were in the ropes. Referee couldn't see it. Great job. Now Christian alone with Shane Thorne in the ring. We're approaching the 2-minute mark. Either way, this is the bout. Here, the winner gets at least 5 points, possibly 6 as we've just passed the 2-minute mark. A submission victory would mean an extra point, so the winner could get 5, potentially 6 points and win the bout for their team. And by the way, because of how things have broken out here, the winner of this match will take the lead in Group 1. Currently, the United States sitting atop the group with 6 points on a 2-1 record. But because they got that with 2 singles wins, it means that the winner here will have at least 8 points for their team with a tag win and a singles win. So the winner will be in first place of Group A by the end of the first round of matches. The loser will be in last place. That's what the World Cup is, folks. It's so much fun. That's what we do. Edge drops the elbow. Thorne has not been able to get a tag back out yet. Great job by Edge and Christian here. We heard Wade Barrett talk about it earlier. The impact that they've had on the tag wrestling game. This is how they structure their matches, and it's all about making sure that everything they do, individually and as a team, is in service of the broader goal, and it means the broader goal is keeping Shane Thorne in this match. Beautiful drop kick from Edge. Thorne's got to get the tag out, and he does. Edge can't stop him, and for the first time, Nick Miller will step in, but he's caught by a massive combination by Edge into the suplex. Nick Miller could be in some trouble here. Edge looking towards his own corner, and Miller knows it. Miller's got to break free, and he does. The fans not loving it as Miller goes in for the flying DDT. Now Edge needs himself a tag in, and he will get it. Here comes Christian Cage. Miller going in for a big lariat, and Cage, smooth as you like, avoids it, and we've got ourselves a one-on-one scenario. Miller and Cage locking up. Cage's right hand caught by Miller, looking for the suplex, but Cage gets the elbow to the side of the head. Now Cage with the scoop slam. And the fans all in for Team Canada. Fisherman suplex from Christian Cage into the cover, and Miller forces his way out. Instead, into the crucifix driver. And Nick Miller right there for Shane Thorne. Oh my God! Did he get the tag in? I didn't see the signal. The referee now signaling for Cage. Diving headbutt to the outside. The referee signaling. He did get that tag in before Cage speared Shane Thorne off the apron. And that momentary bit of hesitation allowed Thorne to just get an extra breath here. Thorne with a massive lariat turns Cage around as the clothesline from Down Under. But Edge was there to break things up. Saves it for Team Canada. And now Thorne, could he be going for it again? Massive knee strike, Cage, that's how you do it. The kitchen sink from Christian Cage. And now no sign of Nick Miller. Shane Thorne to his feet. Christian Cage, oh, he was looking for the kill switch. Thorne with a step up hurricane on him as Nick Miller returns to the apron. Cage to the outside. Thorne with the tope con hero. Christian Cage was out of the way. And now Cage is locked up with Nick Miller. Shane Thorne just getting to his feet. The referee warning Miller to stay away from the legal man in Cage. Thorne shaking off the cobwebs of missing the tope. And now we've got a battle all over this ring. Scoop slam from Thorne and no love lost between Thorne and the fans. Cage rises slowly to his feet and Thorne going after him. Thorne sends him against the barricade. Shane Thorne now stands him up and Thorne gonna get back into the ring. Christian Cage needs to beat the count. He does. Just in time is Christian Cage. Irish whips off and there's the kitchen sink again. Shane Thorne was trying to get the cheap win for Team Australia. Christian Cage didn't let him do it. Missile drop kick from the top. Christian Cage into the cover. Nick Miller is there, but so is Edge. And this is exactly what we're talking about again. Edge out of the ring to follow Nick Miller. Christian Cage in with Shane Thorne, who absolutely knocks him loopy with the uppercut and the colada kicks. And now Thorne going up top, and Cage in the drop zone. Phoenix splash from Shane Thorne as he just turned this thing around. Cover! Shane Thorne has won it for Team Australia. The raucous boos of the fans rain down. Shane Thorne with the Phoenix splash has just shocked the world, like Robbie Eagles said. Nick Miller took out Edge on the outside. And Shane Thorne and Nick Miller, the mighty Don't Kneel, have won it for Team Australia. I can't believe it. Kenny Omega and Edge and Christian downed on the same night. It's a disastrous start for Team Canada. But now, for a quick intermission, we'll take you back to our World Wrestling Studio. Tazz and Wade Barrett standing by to get you set for American Samoa versus Mexico. Thank you very much. I'm here with Analysis Jones. That's the nickname I gave to him a couple weeks ago. Doesn't matter. You guys should have been watching anyway. Wade Barrett, we just saw two of the biggest upsets I think I have ever seen. Take us through. How was Robbie Eagles able to win, and how were TMDK able to win? That's a loaded question there, Tazz. Robbie Eagles, I think he said it best. Byron Saxton talked with him, and he was absolutely right. The way he was able to win is he did not prepare for Kenny Omega. He prepared for every single wrestler he could think of, and just hoping that Kenny Omega fit into that at some point, and he absolutely did. For Eagles, I think that's the biggest win of his career, as we keep saying, and I think that the game plan is more important than anything else, because that is how everyone else is going to attack Kenny Omega. I'm more impressed with Robbie Eagles than I have been with anyone else that I've seen, because the level of maturity that he showed to be able to go in there and get the win, just unbelievable. And as far as the mighty Don't Kneel, look, the fans don't have to like it, and Lord knows, Taz, you and I both have a lot of experience with fans not being on our side. but you and I both know the boos raining down that can sort of charge you up in a way that can get you fired up, that can get you in the zone, as you might say. And that's exactly what we saw from the mighty O'Neal. It's a massive win, and for Canada, I think they have to go back to the drawing board. That was a problem for them. Only picking up 3 points from their first bout, that's an issue. Yeah, Wade, I absolutely agree with you there, and you're absolutely right. When the fans don't like you, you start to hear the boos coming down, and it's you against the world, and that's an incredible mentality to have. And I think Shane Thorne and Nick Miller, that's exactly what they did. And Edge and Christian, I got more respect for those two guys than almost anyone in the world of wrestling. You got to give the flowers to Shane Thorne and Nick Miller. Those two guys are for real. But let's talk about American Samoa and Mexico. All eyes are going to be on the main event, Rey Mysterio and Roman Anoa'i. But Tazz, I think the bigger question is going to be the internal cohesion within Team American Samoa. Because we all saw what happened in Saudi Arabia just last week. What is going on in the American Samoa locker room? I honestly think that it's very similar to what we're seeing right now in the Team Australia locker room, that Jay White isn't even here. He didn't schedule himself for any matches. And I think we're seeing something similar just in terms of not everyone on the team is on the same page, and that is going to be an issue. It didn't show itself tonight for Team Australia, but I think it will at some point. And for American Samoa, how much is that playing into, how much is that in their minds? And I can tell you, Wade, for me when I was going out, I just cleared my head. I didn't think of anything. It wasn't that hard. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't that hard to clear my head, but that's exactly what I did. Is Roman Anoa'i going to be able to do that? Are the Usos going to be able to do that? I don't know either, Taz, but here's what I do know. Mexico is the exact opposite. Rey Mysterio, the team captain, maybe the most respected man in Mexico in probably 4 or 5 decades, if we're being honest. And he has that entire team dialed in. They are locked in. The Lucha brothers will go up against the Usos. Bandido will go up against Samoa Joe, and then Rey Mysterio himself will face down Roman Anoa'i. So on the one hand, you have American Samoa, who you remember was number 1. They were number 1 in my Bad News 8, and I'll have a new Bad News 8 to reveal for you next Monday. American Samoa was number 1 because of their team cohesion. Well, that has certainly gone down the drain just in the last week. Now it seems like Mexico is primed to be able to take, in my opinion, they could take the full 11. They could take the full 11 points here from American Samoa. That is a big-time prediction, Wade. But it's not going to be much time until we figure out if it's correct, because Team American Samoa and Team Mexico starts right now.
Tenemos settle!
Welcome to our second bout of the evening. It's Team Mexico versus Team American Samoa. And it kicks off Group B. Group A now has finished their first round of matches. Canada currently in the lead with 8 points, followed by the United States with 6, the United Kingdom with 5, and Australia with 8, United States, United Kingdom, and then Canada with 3. It's been a long night, folks. It's about to get longer, but I cannot wait. We're here in the Dusty Rhodes Memorial for the Lucha Brothers versus the Usos, and you heard it from Tazz and Wade. We all saw what happened between Roman Anoa'i and the Usos in Saudi Arabia. How is this team going to look? How are the Usos going to look, and how is this team as a whole going to look? An interesting reaction here in Orlando. Very mixed for Jimmy and Jey Uso. I suppose that's to be expected. We know that the Lucha Brothers are incredibly popular throughout Florida. Roman Anoa'i is also extremely popular in Florida. He played college football just down the bend at Georgia Tech. He also, of course, famously trained in the sport of professional wrestling right here, just a few miles down the road. So the fact that the Usos attacked him in Saudi Arabia, I think not going down well with the Florida locals, and that's incredibly interesting to me, because that's, again, another kind of wrinkle in this that we weren't expecting to see. This is what the World Cup can deliver us. Here we go at the Dusty Rhodes Memorial. It will be Jey Uso to begin things for Team American Samoa. Rey Fénix is in for Team Mexico. We will see China versus Japan next Monday to round out Group B, followed, of course, by the new Bad News 8. Where will Team American Samoa land on that? Remember, American Samoa landed first in Wade Barrett's Bad News 8 pre-World Cup. Well, how does that look now, and especially with what Australia has done? How does that look with Australia? We got to talk about Jay White. Tazz mentioned it. We've seen some dissension among certain teams. That obviously didn't bother Australia. The 8 points they got, that's good enough for first right now. Fénix in the corner, Escalera. Fénix goes all the way up. Fénix with the arm drag. Penta got out of the way as well, and Uso, he's got to roll out. Jay catches Rey Fénix with a big time right and allows Jimmy enough time to get back into the ring. Rey Fénix turns his attention to him. Beautiful snapmare, and Fénix with a drop kick. He seems to just hang in the air, does Rey Fénix. Maybe the greatest rope worker in the world and one of pro wrestling's greatest athletes. Penta is another tremendous athlete. Pentagon Jr. with the springboard crossbody and the kick out from Jimmy Uso. Is it just me, or does it seem like the Usos are just kind of out of it right now? They don't look to be at full strength, and I wouldn't necessarily expect them to be after what's gone down. They flew from Saudi Arabia straight here, did the Usos. Penta with a big time lariat, and that, by the way, is a big reason why we haven't seen the Usos in GAW. That's where they've been, and Jimmy able to grab the ropes off the Pentagon cover. Usos, former two-time tag team champions in general admission wrestling. Multitudes of tag team titles over in WWE as well. This is one of the most successful tag teams in the history of the world, but they're facing down one of the other most successful tag teams in the history of the world, in the Lucha Brothers. Mexican icons, like so many of the men on Team Mexico, who right now are playing shorthanded. Jackal, who was originally supposed to be on the team, he is out injured. Rey Mysterio hasn't announced a replacement yet, so Rey Mysterio, Bandido, and the Lucha Brothers are the only men here in Orlando as of yet. Jey Uso going up top. Uso with a high cross. Caught Penta on his way up, and Penta kicks out at 1. Frequent tags here from the Usos. That's something they were known for in GAW as well. Coming up next, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Bandido will face down the GAW Intercontinental Champion Samoa Joe. Nice job from Penta. Wrestles away Jimmy Uso. Now Penta going in for the shoulder tackle. Uso stays up. Super kick attempt caught by Penta, and the Irish whips him off the rope. Now Penta with the enziguri. Less frequent tags from the Lucha Brothers, but Penta will take one here to Rey Fénix. Jimmy Uso back to his feet as Fénix gets in for the attack. He's trying to work off the ropes. Nice job by Jimmy to limit him in his ability. Pop-up Samoan drop. But Rey Fénix right back to his feet. Jimmy Uso going for the single leg. Caught. Rey Fénix's right kick is caught. Now, Jimmy once again, pop-up Samoan drop. This one countered by Rey Fénix. And now, Fénix, Canadian Destroyer. Something that Penta is famous for. This one, Rey Fénix will go for, and Jey Uso is there to break up the cover. Nice job by Jey, but now Rey Fénix. Fénix has him up. Fénix with a Fire Thunder driver. Rey Fénix, also known as the Samoan Death Driver that the Usos have used so many times, but Jey Uso fires in there, breaks up the cover. Rey Fénix going in right hand first. Phoenix hangs him up on the ropes and a stunner to Jey Uso as Penta looking at Jimmy on the outside, and Penta just sends him right back into the ring, into the waiting arms of Rey Fenix, but Jimmy Uso out of the way, Rey Fenix out of the way as he rolls away. Super kick attempt caught by Jimmy, slides underneath it, but he slides right into the waiting arms again of Rey Fenix. Now Phoenix will take the tag in. Here comes Penta. Jimmy Uso out of the ring. He'll slide back in, trying to get Penta from behind. He can't, but he is able to break Penta's grip there. Now Jimmy looking towards his own corner where Jey has gotten up onto the corner again. Tag in. Here comes Jey Uso. Double super kick to Penta. Shoots Penta back towards his own corner. Now Jey, a little bit cautious working around Penta. Might be a mistake because now Penta takes him down, and from the middle rope, Canadian Destroyer, the specialty of Pentagon Jr. into the cover. Jimmy Uso is there just in time. He and Phoenix lock up. Beautiful elbow to Penta, but Rey Fenix taking advantage, going after Jimmy, jettisons him, and Phoenix is gonna follow him out as the referee was getting on his case, and now Penta going up to the middle rope once again. Jey Uso to his feet. Penta thinks better of it. Instead, it's the sling blade for Pentagon Jr. and the standing moonsault press. Rey Fenix back onto the apron. Penta, is he gonna need support from Phoenix? Penta, fear factor. Jimmy Uso, can he get there in time? Penta with the cover. Penta with the cover, no! Jimmy Uso was there, and he slid his hand underneath the legs. He helped Jey Uso kick out. For all the dissension that we can talk about within Team American Samoa, these two brothers are on the same page. Unbelievable. Jey Uso is still in this match, thanks to brother Jimmy. And now Jey turned around on the suplex. Penta kicks out at one. Jey Uso's kick, Penta ducked underneath, but Uso regains control, and he's bringing Penta back into friendly territory for the Usos. Tag in, here comes Jimmy again. Jey into the tequila sunrise, and Jimmy Uso splash! Oh my God. That is as nasty as it gets, but Penta is just able to crawl away. Here comes Rey Fenix, and here comes Jey Uso. Fenix diving in and overpowers the guard with that lariat. Jimmy Uso with a rare mistake, and now Rey Fenix gonna go after him as well. Jimmy Uso jawing at Fenix, jawing at the fans. Fenix's left hand caught by Jimmy. And now Rey is flapjacked by Jimmy Uso, the referee watching on, but I think he's thinking, look, Rey, you started this. This one's on you. Electric chair drop from Jey onto the outside. The Lucha Brothers were a millisecond away from winning this match and getting 5 points. It didn't happen. Now we've got ourselves a war. Standing moonsault press from Rey Fenix. Stands him up. Fenix gonna send Jey back to the inside of the ring. Fenix gets himself between Jey and Jimmy. Jey unable to get the tag in, and Fenix will go after the head. And now Rey Fenix, he's got the range. Fenix, 450 from Rey Fenix into the cover. Jimmy Uso is there just in time. Pentagon jettisons him, and Rey Fenix now. Phoenix again, Canadian Destroyer. Penta dealing with Jimmy Uso on the outside. Phoenix with the cover. Team Mexico with the win. Another opening match banger, but it's the Lucha Brothers, Team Mexico, that secure 5 points for Rey Mysterio's group. And to start off Group B, what a statement. Rey Fenix, an incredible performance. And Penta doing yeoman's work on the outside to neutralize Jimmy Uso. The Lucha Brothers with the first points of the day in this bout, and it's 5 big ones. We'll have 2 more matches coming up for you. So let's go now. Byron Saxton standing by with Paul Heyman. Paul, I'm just going to skip to the lead story. How is the locker room holding up right now? Byron, as you know, I know Roman Anoa'i better than almost anyone on the planet, and as a result, I can tell you for an absolute fact that the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of the world of wrestling could not be less bothered by the narratives people like you in the media are spinning. American Samoa is here on a mission to win the Wrestling World Cup, and to do that, everyone must be on the same page. It is not my concern that Jimmy and Jey Uso made the biggest mistake of their lives last week, because right now, it simply does not matter. All that matters is representing the bloodline, what little of it they ever respected, and trying to win matches. Well, it's definitely an uphill battle now with the Usos losing, wouldn't you say? Much like last week, they have put us all in a much more difficult position because of their own inadequacy. Luckily for them, American Samoa is comprised of the top wrestlers in the world, with or without the Usos, assembled by your tribal chief, Roman Anoa'i. We saw it with the United States yesterday. If you have the talent, you can overcome a disappointing tag team loss, and that is exactly what you are going to see tonight.
Bandido.
Very telling there from Paul Heyman, I think, going after the Usos, who just lost to the Lucha Brothers, lost out on 5 points for Team American Samoa and putting them in a hole. But Heyman did mention this exact same thing happened to Team USA yesterday when the Young Bucks lost to ZSJ and Ospreay in the opening bout. Team USA went on to win the next 2 matches, Lancelot and Bryan Danielson picking up wins, giving USA 6 points. And at least until Australia's incredible performance today, that was enough to put them atop Group A. Can we see the same thing from Team American Samoa? I will tell you this, if there's any man that can do it, it would be Samoa Joe. This is a very interesting call from Mysterio to put Bandido in this match, but he is, of course, has his hand forced by injuries. This is. Samoa Joe hasn't been able to challenge for anything like a junior heavyweight title since I imagine he was 7 years old. But Bandido, a former GAW Intercontinental Champion, the same title that Samoa Joe currently holds that he won from Matt Riddle, the man who won it from Bandido. I'm sorry, Riddle won it from Chris Sabin. It's a whole lineage. Go check out the website, generaladmissionwrestling.com. You can also see live standings of the Wrestling World Cup. That's incredibly important as well. You'll want to check that out. This is a huge match for American Samoa. They need a win desperately from Samoa Joe, and he'll try to get it with a huge right lariat. Bandido ducks underneath. This is your classic power versus speed. But for Samoa Joe, he's used to fighting guys like this. You remember, he cut his teeth in the Impact Wrestling X division. Samoa Joe is used to wrestling matches like this, opponents like this. This is exactly what Samoa Joe grew up in this business doing. Now Joe going to fly with a tope suicida. Joe not wasting any time trying to claw back those extra points for Team American Samoa. By the way, no one has as of yet claimed an extra point, either by a win in under 2 or a submission victory. Samoa Joe may be the one to do it. As we know, the devastating Coquina clutch. Maybe the toughest submission in the world. Bandido hoping that it doesn't get that far. Saito suplex from Bandido, who's trying to get the extra point of his own. 2-0. Samoa Joe fires out at Bandido. Just over a minute gone. Bandido, look at the strength. Gets him up into the TKO. Talk about your extra two, and is American Samoa in shambles right now? Bandido certainly hoping so. Samoa Joe able to win that battle. Irish whip off, and Joe takes him down with the elbow. 90 seconds in. Bandido had an opportunity, but Joe's defensive ability has kept him in this match. Bandido with the incredible strength, by the way, and we know that from him. Joe's right hand turned aside by Bandido. Now Bandido goes low on the legs, trying to take Joe's legs out from under him, but Joe turns him around with that right hand into the German suplex. Joe hangs on the dragon suplex. We've passed the 2-minute mark just barely as Joe straight jacket. A vicious suplex combination from Samoa Joe, who takes down Bandido, and now Joe going after the legs, just like Bandido did before. Now once again, Bandido rolls out of the ring. Will Joe follow him the way he did last time? He will! Tope Suicida! What a recovery from Samoa Joe. Joe is a lone wolf. I don't know how much he's been in contact with anyone else from Team American Samoa. I don't know how much they've trained together. I don't even know if they share the same locker room. Right now, Joe is in this to win it for himself. That's been his mentality forever. Joe slides out of the ring. Bandido going after him, going low. Bandido, more kicking, trying to cut out the legs. There's a right hand. Changing levels is Bandido. Now the go behind into the German on the outside. Volume is going to be the name of the game for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, and now Bandido. A tribute to the late, great Eddie Guerrero, who would have certainly been representing Team Mexico had this tournament been around when he was actively wrestling. Bandido going to the outside. Samoa Joe is there. Bandido trying for the drop kick. Joe didn't even go down. That roundhouse didn't bring Joe down. That standing Spanish fly certainly did. On the outside as well, Joe able to free himself from the clutches of Bandido and sends him straight into the barricade. That is straight metal. And Samoa Joe ducking back into the ring. Here comes Bandido to follow him. He'll run straight into the path of a massive overhand right from Joe, but another one countered by Bandido. Beautiful judo toss. And Bandido jumps up, Hurricane Rana attempt. Samoa Joe caught him. Power bomb. Trying to pick the legs. Bandido incredibly strong in the lower body, but his right lariat turned aside. Now Joe, right hand Joe Coquina clutch. Samoa Joe with the Coquina clutch. Legs are not locked. Grip is in. Bandido struggling mightily. Bandido has to tap out, and Samoa Joe becomes the first man to win by submission. And just like that, American Samoa is 1 point behind. Unbelievable Coquina clutch from Samoa Joe. What a finish. Joe did exactly what he was brought in to do. He won 4 points for Team American Samoa. What a massive win for the Intercontinental Champion. Has not lost since returning from a grievous injury. And Samoa Joe gives life to Team American Samoa. 1 match to go. Rey Mysterio, Roman Anoa'i. It's coming up in prime time, but first, we take you back to the studio where Wade Barrett is sitting down with Robbie Eagles. Robbie, thanks so much for joining us. You've just been on an absolute media storm since you won that match against Kenny Omega. How incredible has this all been? I've been asked that question probably about 38 times today, but I'll give you an honest answer, as honest as I can do. It's incredible, and the fact that it's him, the fact that it's Kenny Omega, my voice is starting to go. You know, it just means so much more. He's an icon of our sport. It's incredible. Now, I know a lot of the guys out there asking you questions won't want to get into the X's and O's of how you defeated Kenny, but I'm not like that. I'm smarter than the rest, and I want to know. So, Robbie, take me through exactly how you defeated Kenny Omega. I know that you're as much of a tactics guy as anyone else out there, and I absolutely respect that. That's coaches during our training told me, well, as soon as Kenny goes for that Snapdragon, then you know that he's gone into his second gear. He's going to start with the V-triggers. He's going to start to wind you down. Anything before that is just trying to feel you out. Well, he hit the Snapdragon on me early, so I knew from that point on he was going to turn it on, so to speak, and that's exactly what he did. And he kept coming at me with V-triggers, and he kept going, he kept going, he kept going. I think in my head, all I'm thinking is, okay, coaches told me what to do about this. When he's trying for the V-triggers and he can hit those out of so many positions, it's not about moving your head, it's about getting some other part of your body in front of his knee. And obviously it didn't work the first 3 or 4 times, but eventually I was able to figure out, okay, if he's running at me, I know that if he's running at me, it's for the V-trigger. He's already hit that Snapdragon, so he's coming in for the V-trigger, so I'm just able to move a little bit, and you saw that I was able to sort of dodge his point of attack. There was a point right near the end of the match where Kenny, it seemed like, was going for the one-winged angel. I don't know what you were trying to do, but it seemed like he was going for the one-winged angel, and that eventually led to you being able to hit the pulse drop. Walk us through the final moments of that match. So what I was trying to do, and thankfully we can see it here, what I was trying to do, I was actually trying to take him down. I was going for the Romero special. I knew that we were probably going to need every point that we could get, and in our game planning sessions, we figured out that Kenny might have been susceptible to the Romero, especially off the takedown. So that's what I was going for. He was, of course, quick enough, and I didn't think I'd get it the first time. But as soon as he turned me around, he hits me with this big right, and I knew that he loves to set up the one-winged angel out of that. Now, what he actually does that's interesting is he actually tries to go low, and so if anything, it was just luck that I happened to notice that he was kind of leaning left, and so I was able to get out of the way. That was not something that I had game planned for. It was just, you know, I was able to get him in the corner here, and you could see that, you know, I'm trying to catch my breath. I mean, I think, okay, I've avoided, I mean, you get hit with the one-winged angel, it's over, you know that. So I'm trying to catch my breath, and I just noticed, oh my God, he's in the corner, he's not moving, and he's trying to do the same thing. If I can just jump on top of him, I know that I can set up the pulse drop out of here. I'll tell you what, Wade, when I get up there and I'm midair and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be the most powerful pulse drop I have ever hit in my life. And I'm thinking if there's any pulse drop that can put Kenny Omega down, it's this one. And that's exactly what happened. So it really is just, it's a lucky situation, but again, my coaches just really did a tremendous job in preparing me for. Robbie, thank you so much for indulging me with that one. I've got a lot to chew on, and I'd love to talk to you about this again. But I also have to ask, Australia picks up an incredible 8 points, but you did it without your team captain, and I dare say you're going to be the only team that has to deal with something like that. What was the conversation like in the locker room after all of your bouts coming back, and there's no Jay White, but you still pick up this many points against a very formidable foe? You know, again, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I think the conversation was not so much about Jay. It was more about what we were able to do as a team, and specifically you look at Shane and Nick going after Edge and Christian. They had all of the fans working against them, and they just stuck to their game plan. And it's hard to beat those guys. It's hard to beat veterans. I know people could say they're old, they haven't teamed together in however long, but look, That's Edge and Christian, okay? Those are two of the greatest that we've ever seen in this sport. It was incredible. And so that was more of the conversation, was just taking a step back. And that's really what the conversation was centered around. It really wasn't about Jay White. Robbie, thank you so much for joining us here in the studio. An incredible win over Kenny Omega. I just have to ask you this one thing. If Jay White doesn't show up again, are we looking at a new Team Australia captain? Wait, I don't even want to go there. All I'm trying to do is win as many matches as I can, try to collect as many points as I can for Team Australia. I was able to do that today. It was an incredibly humbling experience. I can't thank everyone enough, but right now I'm focusing next on the United Kingdom. Thank you once again, by the way. Your next match is against the USA. You see why my brain is absolutely scrambled. You know what? Totally understandable. You're going to have a tough bout, whoever you face. On Team USA, it's going to be an incredible contest. Robbie, thanks again for joining us. It is prime time now. Rey Mysterio, Roman Anoa'i. Let's not make you wait any longer. So it will come down to Rey Mysterio and Roman Anoa'i. The drama of tonight, unmatched. The shocks, the surprises, the upsets, all of it. This is World Cup Wrestling. Yes, folks, this is what you're seeing. The bold 50,000 strong watching Roman Anoa'i, the double champ in WWE, come down to the ring. This is incredible. A spectacle I never thought we'd see again. I never thought we'd see the first time. I don't know what I'm saying again for. Roman Anoa'i with 2 belts, the tribal chief, the GOAT, whatever you want to call him. He was as confident, probably more confident than any man in this competition up until last week. But now American Samoa in shambles. Samoa Joe rescued 4 points for Team American Samoa. Can Roman Reigns finish it off, or can Rey Mysterio make the dream come true for Team Mexico? Here we go. Reigns coming out of the gate hot, but Mysterio was there to catch him with the DDT. Remember, an extra point for a win under 2, an extra point for a submission, 3 points on the line. The winner here will win the bout for Team American Samoa and put them top of Group B. We'll see if that lasts until Monday when Team China takes on Team Japan in the last bout of the first round of matches. Once again, over in Group 1, Australia currently has the lead over the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada. As it stands, Team Mexico in the lead with 5 points. Team American Samoa with 4. Roman Reigns able to avoid the Cazadora. Anoa'i, rather. And he's taken down by Mysterio off his back. This is as 50-50 a match as I was expecting we'd see. 2 of the best wrestlers on the planet, but Anoa'i taking a step back. Anoa'i celebrating in front of the fans, and it was a mistake. Mysterio came up behind him, and now Mysterio Irish whip off. Here comes Anoa'i. Mysterio ducks underneath, and he goes down low for the knee. It doesn't even take Anoa'i down. That is the strength of the tribal chief. Say what you want about the state of Team American Samoa right now. Roman Anoa'i is maybe the best wrestler on the planet. GAW has claims to several. Several of them are on Team USA right now. Drew McIntyre in the mix, but Roman Anoa'i is good as anyone. Jumping lariat. Rey Mysterio hits the ground hard on the outside. And this is exactly what we've come to expect from Roman Anoa'i. This type of attack pattern. Laser focused, targeted, not fast but not slow. Going at his own pace. In the words of the great, legendary basketball coach John Wooden, be quick, but don't hurry. That's exactly what Roman Reigns is all about. Rey Mysterio, listen, if you want to say he's hurrying, he fights at a pace, and he has fought at a pace that we have not seen. I mean, just across his whole career, this is what he's been about. Mysterio goes up. Mysterio, Frankensteiner, and Reigns caught across the second rope. 619. Anoa'i stirring Mysterio to the top. Senton from Rey Mysterio. And Mysterio trying to lock this one up for Team Mexico. No. Mysterio dialed up the 619, and Roman Anoa'i avoided disaster. Now takes him down off the dragon screw. Anoa'i going in, but he's caught by Mysterio. Now Mysterio over the top. Can he get him into the code red? Beautiful job by Mysterio off the dead jump. Kick combination of Mysterio going up top once again. Anoa'i down. Frog splash from Mysterio. Rey Mysterio into the cover for Team Mexico. He's done it. Absolutely phenomenal. 619 from Rey Mysterio. He dialed it up, and Anoa'i was never able to recover. There's the frog splash. Rey Mysterio wins it for Team Mexico. The captain comes through, and Roman Anoa'i and Team American Samoa are stunned. After what happened a week ago, can they recover? That's going to be the long-term question. Only one bout to go in this first round of matches, and it comes at you on Monday. Team China versus Team Japan. You do not want to miss it. Check the website, generaladmissionwrestling.com, for updated standings, and of course, join the Discord for more exclusive World Cup coverage. We'll see you on Friday for Storm. We appreciate you.